Hi everyone, it's Joe. Welcome back to another Ramble. It is Monday, March 23rd at 11:19 p.m. EST. Okay, first thing, apologies if at any point you hear people being noisy. My sweetmates have been, sweetmates singular plus his guest. Oh god, hold on. Okay, I think we're good. I don't know. As I was saying, apologies in advance if my sweet mate and his guests or friends or whoever are loud. I've been waiting to do this. I was hoping he would quiet down. He has been making utter racket since 2 p.m. today. And I thought, given that it was almost 11:30, said racket would stop. Unfortunately, it has not. So, here's hoping that maybe, right now, this very second, it doesn't appear to be going on. So here's hoping it's either done, I got the precise window, or it's just not that bad, and you all can put up with it. Okay, let's see. After the ramble last night, I did just a little bit more exercise. I did more, one more thing of the sitting fitness thing. And then I watched a little bit of Oz, and then I went to bed. And then I woke up today at 7:15. But I was I wasn't feeling sluggish, my body just wasn't cooperating. So I didn't get out of here until 7:45. I got to class with 5 minutes to spare, which isn't ideal, but at least we're on time. Then I took a quiz and I got an A on it. Then I went outside my next class. I watched some Oz for 15 minutes. Decided, you know what, I'm going to take my class remotely today. So I went back to my room, had class remotely. I also reported our termite situation to maintenance. I don't know if they can do anything, if they're going to do anything, but I felt obligated to report it. So I did. After that, I did a lot more exercising. My left arm hurts really bad. Whenever if I extend it out, try to straighten it, it hurts. If it's bent, it's not that bad. It really takes some ibuprofen for it. Also, today I started my anxiety meds, or med singular. I guess you take it twice a day. I don't think it's done anything yet. However, I know that these things take time, so I'm not gonna be it doesn't work yet. Give it a couple weeks, and then I'll say it doesn't work. But who knows? I still just wish this was an actual depression medication and not just anti-anxiety. Maybe it'll work. If it does, that's great. It just doesn't feel like the doctor lady was actually listening to me when I said what the problem was. I have anxiety, and so I say, fine, give me 2 things, but I went there for the depression, which she originally gave me medicine for that didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna pause again real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I believe we were discussing my anxiety meds before I disappeared. So yeah, I'm on them now. I guess we'll find out if they work. Life update. My sweet mate was just in the bathroom, and I've heard why he's been making utter racket for 9 hours. Turns out he's been drunk since 2. Which, if you all, just heard me say, he's been making racket since 2. It all makes sense now. And people wonder why I'm so against drinking and drugs and whatever else. If you all do it, I don't care. I'm not gonna, I don't, how do I phrase this? I don't dislike a person if they consume alcohol and, drugs or whatever. However, dude's been making tons of noise for 9 hours. I I'm good. Like, everybody else can do it, that's fine. I have no interest, especially if it turns me into that. Oh god, no. Anywho's there. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. So remote class and noisy. Yeah, okay. So then after class, I did a little more exercise. I don't remember how much, maybe 10-ish minutes. Then I went and got lunch. Then I came back here, and mind you, this is also while my arm is still sore, so maybe not a good idea, but like it's fun. If you ignore the exercise factor, the game is just fun. Like it's just satisfying to punch things to the rhythm. So then I went and got lunch. And then I came back here and I checked into Animal Crossing. I watched some Oz, and then I did more exercise. I did like a big thing. I did collectively, I think it was a little over 30 minutes. Split across I think four to six different exercises of varying lengths. One was like 2 minutes, one was 2.5 minutes, one was like 7 minutes, one was 10 minutes. I think I'm missing one. I'm not really sure. So I did that, and I think by the end of it, the estimated calorie burner said I burned maybe 500 something calories. Like, I don't know if the calorie burner in these games are accurate. It would help if I had what is it, like one of those fitness watch thingies. But those are expensive, so I'm good. I'll just keep doing it and hoping it has some kind of effect. Now I know the in between these like 4 to 6, I think it was 6 exercise things, like sets, I guess. I did take small breaks. Like I had to sit down because standing for these periods of times hurt my legs. However, while I was doing them in the various amounts, 2 minutes, 2.5, 6 or 7, or however many minutes it was, and then like 10 or whatever, those times I stayed standing the entire time. I did have to lean on things a couple times, but I only sat down like in between doing them. So here's hoping it pays off, maybe. I think the total so far the total calories I burned between today and yesterday has been like 700 something, according to the in-game tracker thingy, which, like I said, could very well be inaccurate. So grain of salt. Oh god, is he gonna make more noise? Oh god. I think the answer is yes. Just like walk away. Just go be obnoxious somewhere else. Please. Like, why did I get stuck next to this guy? Speaking of that, I do have something to say about this. But I will get to it in a minute. So after doing like a big exercise thing, I went and had dinner, and then I came back here and I watched some Oz for a little bit, and then I played a teensy bit of a new game I got called Crimson Desert. And then, I just had YouTube on in the background. I maybe will play my Steam Deck for a bit. I might just watch Oz, like, after this. I'm not really sure. I doubt I'll just go to bed. So I'll probably be like, watch YouTube, watch Oz, play my Steam Deck, something. To just kind of relax. I want to play more of the exercising game because it's fun, but my left arm hurts, and I feel like I shouldn't push it more than I already have, which is a decent amount. Let's see. In other news, I was checking YouTube analytics, and I noticed that I believe like the welcome ramble and then like the first actual ramble I did have received views today. I'm not gonna lie to you all. My immediate reaction was, "Oh God, no!" Why those? Why those of all the rambles? Why are people going and watching the originals? I mean, they're there, and I'm not gonna get rid of them. They're just like under the context as to why I started these, which I've talked about before, so I won't talk about them again, because I've mentioned it before, and I'm sure, I don't know, I'm sure you have all heard it, or at least a decent chunk of you, and I feel bad if I keep constantly repeating it. It's so cringy as to why I started doing these. Now, when I stopped and then came back in August under the new initiative of recording, my daily events and whatnot, that way my best friend will know whatever goes on in my day, since we're not in communication. That's different. But prior to that, I mean, not the whole time, but from start to sometime in December, it was for one reason, and it's very cringy and kind of embarrassing, but I refused to get rid of it. Honestly, it might have run into January, I don't remember, but then to a point it was just it was a normal thing, it had nothing to do with said reason. It's so cringy, and some of the things I say, oh my god, ew. Anywho, so yeah, that has been my that has been my day so far. Now I'm gonna talk about me complaining about my sweet man being noisy and obnoxious. Recently, and I know I've talked about this before. I watched a comedy special by a dude named Ben Bernard called "What a Mature Child." I know I talked about it Saturday because I watched it again on Saturday, and I talked about it the first day I watched it. One thing he talks about is, oh god, more noise incoming, I think. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. One thing he talked about is when he was a freshman in college, and he was 18 or 19, I think he said, maybe 17, but that doesn't seem right. He was he's telling this story about when he's a freshman, and he's in this story, he's calling everybody else in the story a child or children, even though they're either his age or older. And then he's also saying, when he met his best friend, he thought his best friend was an idiot. Well, then it comes to light, through talking with his therapist, it comes to light that, okay, his friend wasn't an idiot. He was a 25-year-old and acting like a 25-year-old. And the children in his first story weren't children. They were people his age or older. And he viewed them as younger because he views himself as an older, more mature person. And anybody who's goofy or fun or, acts their age, to him, if they're being immature, quote unquote, he views them as younger and immature and stupid, and you get the idea. I have never felt so called out in my life. So I'm not gonna act like I act like I'm not gonna act like I feel like I myself am older than a 21-year-old. However, being at college, I'm here at college, and people are drinking, and people are partying, and people being loud and obnoxious, and that kind of thing. And so he's talking about this, and it occurs to me, it's okay, the dude in the room across from me is a freshman, I think. Yeah, because day one we talked about he's a freshman. So if he has come here straight out of high school, I would assume he is 18 or 19, which means he's committing underage drinking, which is illegal, but that's not important. Maybe he's of age. I don't know. I don't really care. So point is, I would assume he's around that age, maybe my age, I don't know. And then you've got everybody else here who is around my age or older or, whatever. And it's just as someone who has not zero, but practically zero social life here, and does nothing sociable I guess. Like, I don't go to parties, I don't hang out with people, I don't drink, I don't do drugs of any kind, which I don't really want to, so that's fine. It's just, like, the only days, I guess, where I, like, let loose and get a little loud and maybe rowdy is whenever I'm, like, playing games with my friends and we get a little loud. But, like, and then I, like, forget about it. But, like, every other day, like, when everybody else is, making noise or whatever, my brain is like, oh my god, do we have to be loud? Like, just shut up. And I mean, you can call me a hypocrite or whatever, for being like, oh, well, you can be noisy on the one day or whatever, but, like, they can't be. Well, like, I don't know, I feel like when he was talking about this in his comedy special, it, like, really struck me, because, like, I don't want to say that I do that, but I feel like I do that, and I'm not trying to say that I'm more mature than anyone for being antisocial, but, like, my whole life it has been work and schoolwork and education and good grades and results come before everything social, and if anything social hinders that, it's a bad thing. So when people are being loud and noisy and having fun and presumably acting their age, quote unquote, like, in theory it should be fine, and I'm over here like, you're getting in the way of, like, me existing and, studying or doing work or trying to de-stress from said busy day. And it's just like, I feel extremely called out by that comedy special. I hope that makes sense. If this is an accurate assessment, it is most definitely something I need to work on. Speak of the devil, oh my god. It is most definitely something I need to work on. However, I'm okay. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. I don't quite remember where we left off, but I think it was me saying that, if, like, this assessment of myself is correct in regards to people acting their age and me getting annoyed with it, if that's a thing, because I take everything, like, kind of seriously, even when I shouldn't be. That's something I need to work on. However, I don't expect that change to happen overnight or even quickly, anytime soon. Because I gave it, during the pause here, I gave it some more thought. It's like, I'm like, okay, when do I not act like this? Okay, when I'm hanging out with my friends, like, we're playing games or whatever, there's that. And, like, whenever I'm, like, talking to my bestie, like, or when we were on a call, like, either or, like, we were texting or on call or whatever. Because, like, in those two scenarios, more so with her than my other group of friends, I just, like, can be me. Like, I don't have to take everything super seriously, and I can just, like, let go and relax and just kind of not be so focused on life things. I can just take it easy. And I'm not gonna lie, I miss it. However, being mega focused in all the time definitely has its advantages. It makes it so I get things done sooner rather than scrambling at the last minute, because it's like, okay, I have things to do. Well, forget doing anything fun whatsoever, forget any social things or whatever, things need to be done, so they're done. And then it's like, oh, I missed this and this and this. Oh, well, at least I have these assignments done, these projects done, whatever. And then, like, I don't want to say my brain scolds the other people for not taking things as seriously, but it scolds the other people. I don't know. It's something I have to work on. And like I said, I don't want to say I'm more mature than anybody, because I don't think I am. But it's just, I don't know. I think in tonight's title, I'm going to put something like discussing my maturity or something. I don't even know if that's an accurate title. Some of you might say it's not. I don't know. It's just an interesting subject that has been haunting me since I listened to that comedy special the first time. Because I don't think he's too far off from... I don't think it's too far off from describing me if I'm interpreting it correctly. Which then again, people can interpret things however they feel like. That's the beauty of interpretation, I guess, or something. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here before I have to pause for like another time. I don't even know how many times we paused this point. I'm so sorry. So, as always, if you liked what you're listening to, hit like, leave feedback in the comments below, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to stay up to date on things I post. Follow me on Twitter if you feel so inclined to do so. Link for that's in the description below. And as always, don't forget, your support means the world to me, and I love you all, but most importantly, I miss my bestie more than anyone else and anything else in the entire world. I can't wait until I get to talk to her again and hang out with her and do stuff with her and not have to be so stressed and uptight and focused all the time and just take it easy. I will be back tomorrow with another ramble. Until then, bye.